As of the 7th of April 2020, Slovak citizens had visa-free or visa-free on arrival access to 181 countries and territories, ranking the Slovak passport 11th in terms of travel freedom, tied with Polish and Lithuanian passports. This passport includes visa-free travel also to the U.S. and Canada, so it's a very good passport. The GDP per capita is $19,442 US a year. An investment of 150,000 euros into a business will get you residency in Slovakia. All right, in this video, I'm going to give you more advantages and disadvantages of getting residency in Slovakia that could lead up to citizenship. Also, if you want to learn more how to legally your income taxes to zero, and also how to get a second passport as quick as 3 months, hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen here, and you'll get new videos as they come out automatically. And I'd like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below and I'll get back with you. And also go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and hit the button at the top of the homepage that says apply with us, and fill out the questions, and then hit that bottom button that says send it to us so we can help you get started. All right, now let's talk about the taxes in Slovakia. The taxes are as follows. You have a corporate tax rate of 21%. There's a personal income tax of 25%. The sales tax is 20%. There is a Social Security tax. It's a whopping 48.60%. This is the Social Security tax alone, which companies, of that 48.60%, companies would pay 35.20%, and the employees would pay 13.40%, which those two together would equal the 48.60%. Now, you need to remember that Social Security is a tax. It's not your money, so if the government later decides that those funds are used for other purposes, you're out of luck. I mean, this is what's happened in the United States for many years, so this is something you need to take in consideration when you're living in this country. Also, remember that that you're going to have to qualify for these funds. You know, in the U.S., you have to pay in like 40 quarters. Here, you've got to pay in several years too before you qualify. So if you pay in for several years and you don't hit that threshold to qualify, that money is basically going down a rat hole. So this is something you got to take in consideration. Slovakia residents are taxable on their worldwide income. All right, let's look at the dual citizenship. Dual citizenship is permitted in all cases where a person acquired an additional nationality at birth or through marriage, or if they held the additional citizenship before becoming a Slovak citizen. If a citizen of Slovakia holds another citizenship, their Slovak citizenship is considered to be the dominant passport and citizenship. All right, now, under the Citizenship Act, Slovak citizenship can be acquired by birth, adoption, or by naturalization. A child is a citizen upon birth if one or both parents is a Slovak citizen. Additionally, a child born within the nation's territory to non-citizenship parents may acquire citizenship if the parents are stateless, or if the parents are unknown, or if there is no proof of foreign citizenship, or if the child does not choose to adopt the parents' nationality. Now, when one parent is a citizen and the other is not, the child is considered a Slovak citizen, even if the citizen parent is later determined not to be the child's actual parent. All right, and citizenship is given to a child upon adoption if at least one parent is a citizen. There are several eligibility requirements for a person to be granted citizenship. For example, citizenship may be granted to a person who has had permanent residency in the country continuously for at least 8 years prior to application, and has satisfied the nation's obligations for foreign residents, and does not have a criminal record or pending extradition hearings or outstanding European arrest warrants, and was not subject to deportation hearings or hearings for removal of asylum, and can demonstrate knowledge of the Slovakian language and a general knowledge of the country. All right. Also, former citizens who have maintained permanent residence for at least 2 years prior to application can be granted Slovakian citizenship again. These are people that are former citizens, though. Grants of citizenship are available to persons who are married to Slovak citizens and have lived in Slovakia with their spouse for 5 years prior to application. Also, citizenship may be granted to persons who have significantly contributed to the benefit of the Slovakian Republic on economic, scientific, technical, cultural, social, or sport matters. Now, if you got this type of talent, you can literally get it very fast. But the government has to determine, what sort of talent and how good that is before you get that. Adults who resided in Slovakia on a continuous permanent basis for at least 3 years before the age of 18 can also be granted citizenship. All right, now there are grants of citizenship that can be revoked, and this is important that you know this. The applicant's documents if the applicant's documents are later found to be forged or altered, that can revoke your citizenship. If the applicant is determined to be a different individual from information in the application, you can have your citizenship revoked from that. And if the applicant withholds required information that could have changed the determination or grant of citizenship, they can revoke you for that. Or another situation is if there was a criminal action in connection with issuance of the grant of citizenship. This is true with not only this country, but most other countries also. Conditions for granting Slovakian citizenship by naturalization. All right, now, one is that you have uninterrupted permanent residence in the territory of Slovakian Republic for at least 8 years immediately preceding submission of the application. Now, this doesn't include the temporary residency before the permanent residency, which I'm going to go over before I finish this. Number 2 is also undergo what's called a probity check according to the Act on Citizenship of the Slovakian Republic. This is basically checking to see if you've got any sort of criminal charges or anything like that. And also, number 3 is actually proven that that you have real good language requirements that you've met with the Slovakian language. So you're going to have to remember you're going to have to learn this language and learn it good enough to pass that test to get the citizenship and passport. Okay, now I'm going to give you my evaluations of this program, and it is as follows. The passport is really good, and it not only has great visa-free travel all throughout the EU and other countries, but it has visa-free travel to the United States and Canada, which most countries don't have that visa-free travel. So it's a great passport. The negatives, though, in my opinion, far outweigh the positives. And because the country is so friggin' socialistic, with high taxes, including the Social Security tax alone at 48.60%, not including the other taxes that make your total tax liability around 50% or higher when you add up all this that you have to pay out. Now, if you like socialism and you can disregard that, then that's fine because it does have a great passport. But I tell you something, I put taxes number 1 on my list. I don't know about you, but I put that as my first priority. Also, number 3 is that there's a language requirement in order to get the passport. So, and we're talking about something that could really knock you out of getting this passport if you don't learn that language. I always try to shy people away from countries unless you're really going to take the time and you're going to put the commitment in to learn that second language. I would tell you to stay away from it. Also, number 4 is getting the residency required years before you can apply for the passport. It's not going to guarantee that you're going to get that passport in. So you can go through all this hassle and headaches, and there still can be things that come up that will prevent you from getting the passport, even after all those years of residency. And this is probably the worst thing other than the language requirement. And that is number 5 is it's going to take you 5 years of residency and 8 years of permanent residency before you can even apply for the citizenship and passport. So we're talking about 13 years before you can even apply for the passport and citizenship. And there's no guarantee after that 13 years you're even going to get that passport and citizenship. That's a long-term time to wait. And then you've got the language requirement you're going to have to learn. So these are things that you really have to take in consideration. And the ridiculously high taxes, I hate those taxes. That's an incredibly high tax amount that you have to pay out, especially on the Social Security tax. As I have put on other videos, remember that a good fast-track citizenship program, and if you're going to get citizenship, folks, I would get it the fast way because you can get it quicker, you can get it out of the way. But the fast-track programs have these following traits, and you want to make sure you keep these in mind and don't bypass them. And that is number 1. Get a citizenship program you know you can get as long as you have no civil or criminal past. A lot of these residency by investment countries don't go by the statutory requirements after the minimum requirements have been made, therefore messing up your plans for a passport in a reasonable amount of time. To give you an example, getting a second passport in St. Kitts or any of the Caribbean countries, you don't run into this kind of problem because St. Kitts passport, especially, and I like St. Kitts because they have more visa-free travel than the other Caribbean fast-track programs, but you can get as quick as 4 or 5 months. But make sure also, number 2, that the country that you're applying with has no military requirements to get the passport. Number 3 is make sure the tax system that's in place to get that for that country is either territorial or a pure tax haven and does not tax worldwide income on its investment income. A St. Kitts passport not only does not tax income outside the country, but it has no taxes inside the country at all. Now, think about this. Would you rather pay 50% tax in a country or one that has no income tax? I mean, that's a no-brainer. And then you've got other variables too, which I've mentioned too, that are a lot more advantageous too also. No language requirement is one of them. And that's the number 4 is to make sure there is no language requirement, that you already are fluent in that language before you apply or don't apply. That's one thing I love about St. Kitts. You go in, you don't have to take a test. Even if you don't know English, you can come in, and as long as you got the money to either contribute to the government or get that property, and you got the whole thing out of the way in 4 to 5 months, you don't have to mess with any language requirement. You don't have income taxes. Man, to me, I can't understand why people, unless you're just broke and you plan on being broke all your life, why would you go to a socialistic country? It doesn't make sense to me. And number 5 is always verify that dual citizenship is allowed or don't engage in that program. And St. Kitts does allow dual citizenship. Now, in most cases, they do allow dual citizenship in Slovakia, so that is one good point there. All right, now you also want to get into a passport that has as many visa-free countries as you can go to. And I would always make sure whatever passport you got, you can go at least visa-free to the Schengen countries. Now, you can go to the Schengen countries and more with the Slovakian passport. You do have better visa-free travel with Slovakia than you do with any of the fast-track Caribbean programs. But this is what I always tell people. Take the visa-free travel, extra countries that you get with Slovakian passport, compare it with what I call the Cadillac of the Caribbean model, which is St. Kitts. And Slovakia will have more countries that you can go to visa-free, but then examine those countries. Are you really going to go to those countries? I can tell you in most cases, when you examine those, most of those countries are in Africa and places that more than likely you'll never go to. So to go through all that trouble and then not benefit from it, is it really worth it? I would say not. And number 7 is remember that a lot of countries reserve the most lucrative business opportunities like insurance, real estate, retail, and other business opportunities to citizens. So you could be barred out of your particular profession waiting all those 13 years if Slovakia doesn't allow you to do that business in Slovakia. And they only allow citizens to do that. And we're looking at 13, 14 years out before you can even apply for the passport. You just destroyed your business. These are things that you need to study on before you go to countries and start going to all this trouble to get a passport. And also, when you move to a new country where you don't know the language, remember this is going to take you 3 to 5 times longer to get everything done. Because you don't know the language, you're going to have to repeat yourself over and over again. Everything has to be translated. It's a hassle. I can tell you, I've been through it myself from living in Panama. It just multiply everything 3 to 4 times more. It's very discouraging when you don't know the language. And I try to discourage people because I know what they're going to go through when they do this. Also, if you want to know more on how to legally get your taxes to zero, how to get a second passport, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen here. You'll get new videos as they come out automatically. I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below and I'll get back with you, see what I can do to help you. And go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and hit the top bar that says apply with us. You'll get questions that pop up, and then hit that bottom button that says send it to us. And then we can look at your situation and know something about you and see what we can do to help you out. We also deal with 74 citizenship by investment, residency by investment countries. If you're not interested in Slovakia, St. Kitts, we got a country for you. Just put down whatever your interests are and what your problem is, and we'll see what we can do to help solve whatever issue you got. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.